Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this crash course, you will learn how to build a simple RESTful API using Express.js, a fast, unopinionated, minimalist web framework for Node.js. We'll cover the fundamental of Express, including routing, middleware, and a CRUD operation. By the end of this tutorial, you will have a solid understanding of how to create a server, handle requests, and manage data in your application. So what is Express.js? It is a web framework for Node.js that simplifies building web applications and APIs. Known for its minimalistic structure and ease of use, Express allows developers to set up middleware to respond to HTTP requests, define routes, and manage various server tasks. The prerequisites for this is you should have Node.js and npm installed. And now we will open our terminal and we will start creating this application. Let me just start. Let me just open my terminal. So here's my terminal. Let's create an application. Let's create a folder basically. Express Crash Course, and then I'll cd into it. Okay, I'm here. So to start an application, you could just we can use npm yarn on pnpm. So I'll use pnpm and I'll use pnpm init. So this will give me a basic structure of package JSON for my for this application. Let's open this in my editor. Here, yes. Okay, so here it is only my express only my package JSON is there. I'll just increase the font a bit. I think this is good. Oh, so this is good. Now let's install our packages. So first thing we want is Express as a package. So let's install that. Okay, great. We have this. So currently we are using we have 4.2.1. Version 5 is also they have announced that is not I think 5 is there. Documentation is not now available also, so you can check that. But whatever we are doing here, it will work same for version 5 and version 4, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's go back and let's create our simple server. So first I'll add an index.js here. If you see here, first thing is to enable import statements. By default it uses required statements and all, but to enable that we can actually define the type of common JS2 module, and now we can use TypeScript kind of syntaxes like import and all. So this is why I'm doing this. Now I can just do it like this, Express, and now I'll have to assign it to an application. So this is my Express server. So on the very basic, I'll just create a port value also. So this, if you have environment variable in that, it will take it from there, or else it will just take at 3000. Okay, now let's create our server, and also we will log when our server is started. So let's start this and let's see if that works or not. So to do that, I'll have to do this. Okay, so it is started, but I cannot access anything because I have not exposed this or added any function or any route in this application. So now we will add that. Also, I will add one more package, which is nodemon. What this does is this actually allows me to run my application in watch mode. So that is basically what we will be doing. So let's add a script. Let's add a dev script. Move this and let's add node mod Express.js. That's it. Okay, now our application will run in watch mode. So whenever we change anything, it will just run our application. We restart our server, so we don't have to worry about restarting it every time. So my server is running here. Let's add a simple route. Let's add a simple route. So when we create any API or any route, we get this parameters like request and response, and we have to it actually works. Our HTTP server or API, HTTP RESTful APIs works on request and response architecture. So whenever we reach this route, we will get request and response in the function, and we have to act on it. So we can maybe check console. We can add a console for request. You will see all the related things like headers, whatever headers are passed, what with from which API IP address it is called, what headers were there, what cookie were there, what is the form parameters. Like form parameters basically would be the body parameters, what was the URL parameters. So every detail would be there. Okay, and now we'll just, for this we will just add a simple send hello world. So this is it, and also we have to add a status. So this is HTTP status. We'll add status 200 because 200 is for success or okay. So this will tell the browser or the API calling client, I mean the client of this app, that this request is successful and you got this response. So this is it. Let's see our server was restarted or not. Yes, our server was restarted. Let's access plus 3000 and I got this, right? Did you see? I've got hello world there. Just to check, if I update this and let's go back to my browser and refresh it, yes, it is changed and we got this value as well. Perfect. So we have added our first route. Let's add another route, and we will also add it another a bit how other applications are handling. So we will add it like that. So let's create a directory, routes, okay. And inside that I'll add my file for, let's say, users.js. So to create a route in a different file, what we need to do is we need to also import Express again. Okay, Express, and now we can get router from express.router. So this is the function which we want to use it as a to create a router basically. So this will be explicitly for routing only. Here in this app has all those functions. Our app has complete Express object, so that is why we can add it directly here. But if we want to add a separate only a router, we could get it from express.router and we can assign our routes to that. So let's add a router dot route. This will be for users. Okay, so now users will be like, we can add some we can add all the functions, I mean for getting the users, for deleting, for adding a user. So we could use those method names directly. We can chain it here. So let's first add get, which will get all the users. Okay, so let's add a callback. Let's add a callback. Basically here we don't have to give this. This will be for users and this will be slash for users, and we will add users in our I mean our main file. index file where we will add this router. So that is where we will do that. And now if I come up here, I can actually send all the route. So let's add a return rest.status. This will be 200, and we will send users list. Okay, so this is to send the list. Now I can actually do one thing, like I can chain the other functions here. So if I maybe add, let's say I add a post method. So for adding a new user, I will have to add a post method. Again, we will get request and response. Okay, so here maybe I will get request.body, and maybe I have it here as name or email. Okay, so I'll get these from there. So I can achieve I can get the request body as of in my request body. But for this, I will have to add add another middleware to enable JSON in my Express.js. So I will have to add that as well. So let's add that. And also I'll just first return this. So for create HTTP status code would be 201, and for now I'll just return this object of name and email. So whatever I'm receiving from here, I'll just return it directly, or maybe I could just do this request.body. So I just wanted to show you how we can do that. So that is why. So you can add your validations and everything here, and you could just do that. I'm just returning it for now. Okay. So for the main route, we will have these two methods where we can get all the routes and all the users and add a user. Okay. Now also we will have to handle the individual part of this, all the users, right? So let's add here. Again, I have to get this request and response, and I can now just send it like this only, like user, and I will add it like this, user detail for request.params.id. So this is how you can get the parameter from the URL parameter. So you could get it from request.params.id, or maybe I will just do a string concatenation. It will be much better. Let's take it from here and add it here. So this is how we can get our URL parameter. And for put also, so to update, if you want to update any user, we can use our put method. Okay, and similarly I'll do it here. So again, for put method, we will get request body, so we will just return it again, and now we won't be 201 because we are not creating the data, we are actually updating the data, right? So that will be there. And then we will add a delete method for deleting any user. So also again, request and response, this will be the structure, this will be the default structure, and I will send a status of 200 and send user is deleted. And also I'll maybe add this over here so that we can know like which user is deleted. So this is how we can add our APIs. These handlers, you can actually take it out in another separate function, and you could use it. Maybe I can just create a function over here, let's say, or maybe I'll add a const I'll create a function with const. So named function would be better. So let's get user detail. This will be much better. And now take all of this, okay, take all of this, paste it here, and assign this function to this. That's it. So this will take care whenever the request comes up here, it will come up here, this request and response we already have, and then this will return it accordingly, return the response accordingly. So we don't have to worry about it. You could also do try catch over here, and you can get the values and respond to errors accordingly. So this will work. Just take it back. So now what I have to do is I have to then now export this router, because my routers, all my API routes are assigned to this router. So I have to export this. So let's add that as a default router, default export. So this is it, and I'll just close this, and I'll take it here, and maybe I name it as user router, and that will be from, oh sorry, not const, that will be import. Okay, so that will be from import, and that will be from routes and user.js. This will be my user routes import. I'll take all imports here, and now what I have to do is app.use. So app.use is for whenever we want to add our routes for all the possible methods. So it will be enabled for all the methods which are available for HTTP methods, like put, pull, put, patch, get, and delete. So all those methods, it will be enabled, and this will act as a middleware for the application. So whenever we reach to that route, it will take care of it. So now I'll just add a users route and assign my router over here. So this is like whenever we come to this route, this will be in place, and this will take it from here. And that is why we have given this slash on this router, because we have already defined users here. If I define users, if I have done something like this, then the route would be users/users, so which is not good. Actually, we have to come up here, and then we can add it. So on the detail or this part, it will be kind of this will be the actual route. Okay, so this is how we can separate our routes or split our routes accordingly. And also you can take this handlers in a separate function, maybe a controller function, where you could do your API changes, your database queries and everything. So you could do that. Now let's try to fetch something. Let's try to fetch this. Let's just move this, yeah, and go to our users. Okay, so this should work. Let's go here, and if I go to users, this is not coming up. I think my server is stopped. I have stopped my server, so that is why it's not coming up. Okay, cannot access. Okay. So actually I have assigned created that function below, if that below it. So that is why it's giving me error. Let's create it above, and I think this should work now. Yeah, server has started. Let's go back, refresh, and I got my users list. I got my users list. So this is how I could do that. And also, if you I'll show you how I could send my post request. So for that, I will use Postman. Let's come up here. So I have my localhost 3000, and I got this. If I come to users and send request, I got my user list. Now if I change my method to post, and I add let's say name, name would be, oh sorry, this won't be parameters, right? This would be body, because I want it in body, and this will be raw and JSON. Okay, so name would be Ghazi Khan, email, let's say Ghazi at hotmail.com, and maybe handle, it is code with Ghazi. So this is my request body. Zoom it a bit, and yeah, so this is my request body, which I'm sharing, which I'm sending as a raw JSON format. And now if I send it, I should get back my body. I didn't got my body, but I got 201 created request response. So let's check why that body was not sent back. Server is running. Okay, server is doing its work. 201 and send request dot body. It doesn't work. Let's just, okay, I have told you, like, I need for accepting JSON body, we have to add a library, add a middleware in our application, right? So to enable that, we will use body parser. This is the library which we will be using. Okay. So now let's just import that body parser from body parser. Okay, now I'll add all my middlewares dot use. To add any middleware, we have to do this body parser and JSON. This is it. This is how we can just enable it. Here my routes are there, so I'll just use it. Okay, perfect. So I have my middleware, I have my routes, I have my server. So now if I go back and just see servers restarted, perfect. Now I go back to my Postman and send it. I can now get my request handled, my JSON body handled, and I have got the response back. So whatever I have sent back, I have received it in the response, because I am actually sending the same thing back to my server, back to my client. That is why I'm getting this. Okay, so now let's see if I can get the detail back, right? So if I come up here and maybe because we are not handling any database queries here, so I can just add a random number, and let's see if I get that. Okay, this is not, oh sorry, post would not be there. I will add it as get. Yes, I got this as my user ID also came up. Let's add again. We got this. Now if I, let's say, send a delete request, so user 789 is deleted. Perfect. Let's send a put request, and maybe just remove this, and I want to update only my name, and I'll remove and I'll just add it as Ghazi. So let's see, this should also return what I have sent in my request body. Okay, so yes, this has returned it. So this is how my API routes are working. My APIs are working basically. So all these methods, these are HTTP methods which I have chained in the routes, and all those actions I can perform. Now here you could add your DB queries, you could do your manipulations if needed. So all those things you could do here, right? Now let's create a kind of middleware, a custom middleware, because we have added our routes, and the major thing is, I mean, this is very useful thing to handle requests or do some manipulations is through the middleware. Like we have added a default middleware to enable the JSON for request body. So similarly, we will create our own middleware here. Let's add maybe another function, or I can just add something here. This will be for logger, and I will add request response. And one more thing we need here, we need in middleware is next. Next denotes we have to whatever work we are doing. It is after that is done, we have to pass on the request to the next function, right? So if I not do this, this will not get to my other function or the destination function, and my app will get stuck. So that is why I have to call this next function. Whatever my work is done, I'll just have to do that. So let's do one thing. Let's check log original URL, and then I'll just call my next function so that my log is done. Okay, or maybe I'll make it a bit more routing to, okay, routing to this original URL. Original URL would be our route which is being accessed from the user by the user. That is what I'm doing, and then I'll just pass on the request to the to the destination function. Okay, now I have to use my logger here, so I'll just pass it as a function reference, and this should work. Let's see, my server started. Perfect. Let's go back to Postman, hit an API, and I have got my log, right? So this has logged it routing to this URL. Let's see, get request, and just remove this. Let's send a request. See, my routing is done. So this is the middleware. Middlewares are basically functions that have access to the request and response, and also the next middleware function, which is, so that is how we create our middleware in our Next.js, in our Node.js application or Express.js application. So this is it about this video, and we have created our simple server and our routes and a middleware, custom middleware, where with Express.js. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment, and do not forget to subscribe to get more updates like this. If you have any question, please do comment and let me know, so we could learn together. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.